The following is an ESG On Location video.
Late last month, I was in Madrid for HPE's Discover event. The city was uncharacteristically gloomy, chilly and wet at the start. Not good when there's a taxi strike right in the middle of the event, but luckily the weather changed to bright, although still chilly. IFEMA, the conference location, was like all such specialist mega meeting places, huge with a soulless could-be-anywhere feeling and sadly a long way from the beauty and drama of its namesake city. But turning to HPE, Meg Whitman turned the reins over to Antonio Neri. He inherits an inarguably very different company from when Meg arrived as CEO, but only somewhat arguably, one that's more focused and better equipped to serve the contemporary hybrid IT world. Big conferences from broad system vendors such as HPE have an inherent challenge. There's so much breadth that any summary statements are destined to be either ironically narrow or inherently to lack tangibility. Now, this is categorically not an HPE-specific critique. One finds that the specifically detailed news and the often large amounts of incremental value at system vendor conferences are only revealed and best explained on the expo floor, the transformation zone in HPE parlance, and in breakout sessions. Otherwise, one's diet is of tasty meals that comprise the enterprise of the future, no doubt served with a side of hyper-connected edge, garnished with security control and with blockchain and AI to taste. I'm categorically not being negative. The challenge for IT behemoths is to summarize, but it's a bit like asking the heads of the Library of Congress and Smithsonian to jointly give us the gist of the essence and meaning of their combined collections in 20 minutes. It'd be hard to avoid. We have a lot of cool books and other great stuff to serve the inquirer of the future, etc., etc. So how to get at least some of the real story? The answer, or at least an answer, is to talk to some of the real people, both from HPE's ranks and its customers. I spent a good deal of time at Discover talking to a range of executives from HPE's hybrid IT business unit, as well as an equal number of customers. In all cases, I was trying to get to the real story, whether of vendor intentions or user needs and value, in plain conversational English. Here are some sample sound bites from some of the HPE folks. The customer interviews will appear on HPE's website over the coming weeks, and I'll let those subjects tell their stories in their own words.
The storage landscape has radically changed, as you and I have talked before, certainly over the last year, let alone the last 4 or 5 years. And customer conversations are moving from, what I call flux capacitors and storage and megaflops to how do we sort of get applications deployed?
Flux capacitors.
Yes, how do we get storage deployed or applications deployed more efficiently and rapidly?
Yeah.
What applications do we keep inside the data center and data as a result, and then what do we send outside the data center?
The fundamental problem customers are trying to solve we call the app data gap.
Right.
Okay, this is this disparity between what the application and the user expects things to happen and what might actually happen. So every time you see that spinning wheel waiting for data, that's the app data gap.
Right.
We want to eliminate that. So we're going to look across the whole infrastructure stack, predict and prevent problems, and give you that full end-to-end experience that you want in your application.
So if I was to net that out, get rid of the spinning wheel of death.
Get rid of the spinning wheel of death. Close the app data gap.
Whatever
as we
causes
would say.
that, yeah.
Irrespective, and take the pain away from troubleshooting that. So you don't have that problem and then trying to find the needle in the haystack. Is it the server? Is it the network? Is it the storage?
What we've seen from customers is that their buying lines are changing from horizontal to vertical, right? Where in the past that you'd come to HPE for compute, and then go to a networking vendor for networking, and then a standalone storage vendor for storage, right? That is moving to more of a vertically oriented approach in terms of I have this workload or I have these SLAs, and I want you to provide me an integrated tops to bottom experience that's going to solve that problem for me. Whether you want to call that hybrid IT or private cloud or a converged system, sort of the same principles at the end of the day, on how we essentially make our portfolio. We're a portfolio company. We think that portfolio companies in the end are going to win, as opposed to just best of breed.
I think one of the most exciting things that we're doing is bringing artificial intelligence to the data center. So that really is transformational. It's really the forefront of building an autonomous data center. So we're using the capability that we acquired from HPE Nimble, or Nimble Storage, HPE InfoSite, and we're building that into our portfolio. So we're using HPE InfoSite to bring that predictive analytics capability. You know, what's great about that is it covers not just storage, but the server stack, the networking, and so it really gives people insight into exactly what's happening around their storage infrastructure.
What can I say by way of summary from what they told me and what I gauged at the event without falling foul of the challenge I mentioned earlier? Simply put, there's loads to applaud across HPE. I mentioned Madrid's temperatures earlier, and the Celsius or Fahrenheit situation for HPE is fascinating. It has morphed into being among the hottest of IT providers, but it still cannot crack being among the coolest. It has a fabulous portfolio, but still too often projects a feeling of impressive functionality and capability, rather than one of also being inspirational and aspirational. That said, given that it's easier to fix projection than portfolio, I think the forecast remains good.